This Sceptile mod has been released. It's probably one of the most popular mods that is out there right now. And it's been created by the person that has also put Waluigi in P+ and PM Remix. And a lot of these mods have a lot of detail and a lot of quirks in them, and Sceptile is no exception here. So I think people will commonly overlook a lot of the small stuff that this character truly has. It's probably one of the most ambitious modded characters out right now. Sceptile has a 3-hit jab, and while the first hit seems like a really strong tool for starting combos, the third hit is obviously the one that has the most amount of knockback. Dash attack Sceptile actually will slide across the ground and cross up the opponent, and he actually has a different variant of the move if you press A on hit, which allows Sceptile to act out of the move and you essentially bounce off the opponent and can start combos off of this. This is actually a really neat idea. Up tilt is a arc attack that comes out at an angle. It's a really solid combo tool, although it doesn't go through many platforms of a lot of stages. Forward tilt can also actually be charged, which is crazy. It is a really unique tilt. I've not seen an actual tilt do this in a real Smash game, so you'll see a lot of modded characters have a lot of quirks like this. The uncharged variant does a decent amount of knockback, but clearly the charged variant has more particle effects and it is clearly the stronger KO tool, and also it can be angled like most forward tilts can be. Down tilt does not have a lot of range, but if you hit with its close hitboxes, it will launch the opponent into the air and you can follow up off of it. Claw can launch the opponents away, and it seems like a clear setup tool for comboing into his KO setup. And here's Sceptile's pummel. It deals around 2%. An up throw, Sceptile will shoot leaves in the air and actually throw the opponents upward, and in rare moments the leaves will actually remain active and it can arc downward and you can clip the opponent with the leaves. Down throw is clearly Sceptile's combo throw, and it sends at a really close angle for easy follow-ups. Forward throw can actually send opponents away, which is actually a strong tool for following up on stage and off stage. And back throw can actually be a KO throw at really high percentages. Easter eggs are also part of this character. Yes, Sceptile has a cool Z air attack, and essentially you get a seismic toss. If you grab the opponent and let's say you can actually do this at the top last zone of battlefield, it will actually KO the opponent at high percents. It is a high risk, high reward tool, but it actually is probably one of the coolest parts of Sceptile. I'm sure many of you don't even know this is actually in the game. It is. Up smash can be a KO tool at higher percentages. It technically has 2 hits on the move, and the second hit is the most amount of range. And at lower percents, you can technically combo with this move, as it actually is a very solid tool for doing that. But the second hit is capable of killing, and if you actually manage to hit with its smaller hitboxes, the move even goes through platforms, so it does have some nice utility. Down smash hits on both sides, and the closer you are to Sceptile, it clearly is its most powerful hit because it sends at a semi-spike angle, but the further hitboxes will send the opponent up and away, which technically makes the front hit a little bit better. Forward smash has a lot of range. It is a pretty laggy attack, but it is one of its strongest KO tools. The range is really good. It actually catches a lot of people off guard, and is probably one of the Sceptile's most reliable KO tools, especially out of down tilt or dash attack. Down air can hit away, and the hitbox is actually good for edge guarding. While you do have to get close to use its inward hitboxes, it can also allow Sceptile to hit upward with it if you confirm with its different hitboxes. And up air is a multi-hit attack and is not the strongest move in his kit, but it does have a nice amount of range. It's pretty hard to KO with, but give it a try. Back air is also a hard to hit move because of its weak amount of range, but it clearly can be used for edge guarding. I've actually used this move quite a bit for offstage kills. One of his best moves is forward air, a really solid angle and has decent amounts of range, and I can see this move being a combo ender for Sceptile as a really strong tool off stage. Sceptile's down air is a dive kick, and once Sceptile confirms the opponent, you actually will bounce off the opponent and it becomes a really solid combo tool. The move doesn't even have that much lag either. It is actually a very safe dive kick, at least compared to some I've seen in the series, and where you can use it effectively on stage or off stage in some ways. If you want to retreat too, you can do that. Neutral B can be used when fully charged, and it takes about 7 seconds until it gets to that point, and Sceptile can begin to glow on his back. If you manage to hit with this move, it does a little around 20% when fully charged, and the spin will actually drag the opponent into its later hits, and it goes a really far distance, so you can actually edge guard with this thing. It has strong amounts of knockback on the final hit, and I've actually struggled to get out of this move, so keep that in mind. Forward special will actually cause Sceptile to run fast on stage, and it can be mashed multiple times to make him run faster or run again. and he can act out of the very end of the move and use it as a KO tool. You can even use it to jump out of, which I'm sure most of you are going to use this variant of the move. The aerial version is clearly the best version of this move. It is obviously used as a recovery tool, and it's a very fast tool for comboing in the air because you can act out of it. So it's KO tool on stage, but also it's one of the best mobility tools for Sceptile when used in the air. It clearly can show how unpredictable a lot of his options can be, as Sceptile can use pretty much any aerial variant that he wants quickly, and is clearly a great move. Side special is amazing. An up special is a double hit attack. The first hit of up special can break out of pressure. It actually seems like a decent tool out of shield, and you can sort of kill with it at high percentages. But the first hit will also lead to the second hit, and you can obviously use it as a recovery tool. It sort of is reminiscent to Ike's up B, and on the second hit, as he rises up, disappears, and then comes back down. It can actually be a devastating tool off stage if you use it correctly. And yes, Sceptile will disappear and reappear on the second hit. Down special is probably the deepest move in Sceptile's kit. If you use it while hit on stage and you activate Leech Seed, the seed will be planted in the ground and will eventually sprout if your opponent goes near it, and it will deal 2% and quickly disappear. However, you can place multiple on stage at the same time, and you can even shoot an aerial variant that comes out at an angle. And this variant is clearly the better option, as it will grapple onto the opponent, and you will begin to see Sceptile start to trade health with the opponent. And again, obviously it's based off Leech Seed from the Pokemon game, so you can probably guess that. Using all three of these options at once, you actually get to use a really solid option for controlling space because of just how fast you can shoot down specials in the air while sprouting multiple trees. And the down special can even be latched onto the opponent like Snake's down special can be. So you can latch it onto the opponent and they'll trade percent with you. And it also in turn will fill up Sceptile's neutral B even faster. It's actually a pretty genius idea, as Leech Seed does benefit other aspects of Sceptile's kit. So it can be a really rewarding tool. And also we can't forget about the taunts. The taunts are actually really important for Sceptile. I think Side Taunt is clearly a reference to Pokemon Colosseum's animations for Sceptile, as I was able to call this out immediately because I'm a huge fan of those games. And while the Up Taunt is clearly one of the coolest taunts I've seen in the game, because Sceptile will spit out a twig and this move will come out at an angle. And thanks to the way that Item EX has benefited a lot of characters' modded movesets with items, you can actually use this twig as part of Sceptile's moveset, as it will essentially become an item that can be Z-dropped, which is pretty insane. I've never seen a character do this, and it's because it's using some really new tech. This Item EX tech is brand new, so yes, characters that basically never got to use items before can use items. It used to be that characters that were clones of characters that had items were the only ones in the game that could have custom items. Well, now any character can, so it's really cool. Also, multiple twigs can be on stage at once. It's actually funny how just crazy you can just fill the stage up with the twigs. It's not going to happen that often though. It takes multiple seconds for a twig to come out, so keep that in mind. I do like a lot of the animations that Sceptile just has in general, like his idle animation, his ledge animations, his shield break animation. His first and second jump is actually interesting to note because this first jump is a lot higher than the second jump. There's a nice sound effect on Sceptile's idle animations when he's scraping his leaf blades together. I guess you could call it that. He even has a wall jump and a wall cling, similar to Knuckles, where the character can walk up the ledge. And yes, pretty crazy that Sceptile can do this. It's actually pretty insane. It kind of reminds me that their side specials are very similar to each other, at least as far as a mobility tool that they can act out of. So this means Sceptile's vertical recovery is a lot better on stages with vertical walls like WarioWare. I do really like the animations that the character has. It's clearly a more polished aspect of the character, and I don't see a lot of modded characters having this aspect. And I'm low-key a Blaziken fan. I'm not a Sceptile fan at all. I don't like the character as far as like Pokemon goes, but this mod truly won me over in that way. And it shows a lot of depth and a large amount of Easter eggs in this character. So yes, the character's strengths are his stage control and Sceptile's ability to keep the opponent at a distance and zone them out, while also having long range attacks at a distance, like for example his forward smash. Sceptile's clear positives are his ability to play in the mid range, and also a lot of the unique quirks like the leech seed mechanic. The character's weaknesses though are Sceptile's survivability is maybe not the greatest compared to some of the other characters. He has a large character model and the tail hurt box gives him similar negatives to Mewtwo. Majority of his moves are going to clip the character and can really give him problems, so yeah, projectile camping especially. But Sceptile, because of the character being taller and a larger character model, it also makes it feel like he's not heavy enough at least to have a decent survivability. So Sceptile can easily be clipped by attacks and killed. And another problem I think the character has, pretty lackluster KO power. Definitely a purposeful aspect of the character, but a lot of the strong hitboxes are either really small or they have some of the laggiest moves in his kit. His range quirks are really nice, but I don't think they fix the negative of the character really struggling to KO at even 150% a lot of the times. So yes, while the character is really strong, neutral, and combo game wise, when it comes to sealing out the stock, it's clearly a negative for the character, and I feel like that's one of Sceptile's biggest weaknesses. But either way, I do love the amount of passion that went into this character. The animations are peak, and the character design behind this character is really good. Alright, there's a Patreon down below if you guys want to support the channel and get videos early. There's also a Discord and an Instagram. Alright guys, thank you, take care, have a good one.